Topic 1. A U.S. fighter jet downing in Iran, debris from interception strikes hitting an Oracle building in Dubai, and related costs described as a U.S.-Iran war tax are disrupting businesses and prompting Asian travelers to avoid the Middle East. Summary 4 lines. A U.S. F-50E was shot down in southwestern Iran. 1 crew member rescued, 1 missing, and U.S. search efforts ongoing under fire. Interception debris from missile and drone exchanges damaged civilian infrastructure in Dubai, including an Oracle office. AWS data center was previously hit. Rising oil and refined fuel prices have driven fuel surcharges across airlines, logistics, and platforms, squeezing small businesses' margins. Asian travelers are canceling or avoiding Middle East trips, shifting to Southeast Asian alternatives and regional connections. Detailed script. A U.S. Air Force F-15E fighter jet was shot down by Iranian forces in southwestern Iran. 1 crew member has been rescued, the other remains missing, and the U.S. is conducting search operations. 2 U.S. helicopters escaped after coming under Iranian anti-aircraft fire. This marks the first shootdown of a U.S. combat aircraft since the outbreak of the war, significantly raising tensions. Amid these attacks, debris from Iran's missile and drone launches and from intercepts has caused damage to civilian facilities in the region. Fragments struck and damaged the exterior of an Oracle office building in Dubai. There were no reported injuries. Prior to this, an AWS data center was also attacked, causing service disruptions. The war has threatened or partially blocked traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, pushing crude oil and refined fuel prices sharply higher. Rising diesel and jet fuel costs are increasing expenses across logistics, transportation, and aviation. Several carriers and platforms, examples include JetBlue and United, and fuel surcharges for Amazon sellers, have introduced fuel and logistics surcharges or fees. Small businesses find it hard to pass these costs to consumers. Margins are being squeezed. For example, moving companies report fuel cost shares rising from 3 to 5% to 6 to 10%. Consumers are feeling the effects not only at the pump and in higher airfares, but also through broader inflation and impacts on the housing market via interest rate and mortgage changes. Some EU finance ministers are calling for an EU-wide excess profits tax or solidarity contribution on energy companies to capture windfall gains. Asian travelers, deterred by high airfares and safety concerns, are canceling or avoiding trips to the Middle East. Airlines report increases in cancellations, some firms noting 20 to 30% rises, and travelers are altering patterns toward regional alternatives like ferries, cruises, or nearby hub connections within Southeast Asia. Topic 2. Global oil fears tied to Iran tensions pushed crude above $12 a barrel, prompting the U.S. to release 10 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve and prompting Amazon to add a seller surcharge as logistics costs rise. Summary 4 lines. Middle East tensions, especially around Iran, drove WTI crude above $112 per barrel amid Strait of Hormuz uncertainty. The U.S. announced an additional 10 million barrel SPR release, part of a coordinated release of roughly 400 million barrels with 32 countries. Analysts warn the release may be insufficient if worst-case disruptions continue. Shortages exceeding 10 million barrels per day versus demand could occur. Rising oil has already raised gasoline prices above $4 per gallon and led Amazon to add a 3.5% logistics surcharge for FBA sellers. Delivery carriers also apply fuel surcharges. Detailed script. International oil prices spiked because of tensions in the Middle East, especially related to Iran. West Texas Intermediate crude exceeded $112 per barrel, with uncertainty over shipping through the Strait of Hormuz cited as a primary cause. The United States decided to release an additional 10 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve